Media Network. Welcome to the Spartan Media Network from Playfly Sports.
Spartans recovered on the break. Slam dunk by Booker. Allman drives to the basket. Bank shot away. Good. And I think he's going to get a free throw to boot. Booker for three. He got it. How about that?
It's time for the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by Meijer, the official grocer of Michigan State Athletics. Labatt, crack some Labatt and see where it takes you. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. Team Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Team Trailways your favorite ride. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill. And by McLaren, official orthopedics and sports medicine partner of Michigan State Athletics. Now with Michigan State head basketball coach Tom Izzo, here's the voice of Spartan basketball, Will Tieman.
And a pleasant good evening to everybody around the great state of Michigan. And welcome into the Coach's Show, brought to you by our friends at Auto Owners Insurance. Well, what a game we had yesterday. Michigan State 80, Illinois 78. And Tom, I don't know how many big games you've won over this last 30 seasons, but boy, wasn't that something yesterday?
Well, it really was. And before we go there, last week when we came, the weather wasn't good. And I said, wow, these people are loyal. But tonight, with the national championship going on and weather atrocious, I think you people are certifiably insane. So it's changed for me. But thank you so very much. It's yesterday. You take part, y'all that were there. Those of you that were home watching. I said it to my team. I send a text out to the Izzo once in a while, and I did. I think it was Thursday or Friday, and. Definitely you win games in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's players, sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's fans. And over the years, some of our biggest wins have been because of our fans. And if you were there, that place was rocking. If you saw it on TV, it was rocking. I mean, I had more people tell me it was, Mateen Cleaves, first thing he said, it's coached like old times, and it really was. And a hell of a game. It was a different game. We didn't play great early. They didn't play great. Fouling, there's some calls, boy. I tell you, I don't know. Any of you women want to take up refereeing? The men have worn themselves out. So I'll tell you, we'll look to go to one of you. But it's been interesting so far, and but it was a heck of a day and a game we needed to win, and a game we found a way to win. After a rough start, I thought the second. 2/3 of the game we played very well, because that was a hell of a game. Clark Kellogg called me that night and said, what a great game for television. It was a great game for everybody, I guess, except you're an Illini fan.
I raised one of those fans. She graduated from there, the middle kid. She even called back and said, "Great game, Dad." How about that?
It's good.
So, not to talk X's and O's, but if you heard Coach, if you heard what Tom said in the pregame, he talked about their rebounding. He talked about how they made threes. Well, they're really good. And Tom also said he thought they were the best team on paper in our league. Check out these numbers in the second half. Somehow we tied that thing at 36 at the break. Free throw shooting, which is critical in a tight game. Second half, we shot 92.3%. Illinois is an amazing rebounding outfit. They just are. Michigan State out-rebounded Illinois in the second half when it counted 23-16 and only turned the ball over in that crazy game 8 times. I would call those winning numbers against a hell of a team.
Yeah, they really were. And the second half, they went with that monster lineup. They were 7'1", 6'10", 260, 6'9", forward, 6'6" guard, and a 6'2" guard that was well built. So that was as big a team as we played against, and and all those guys could shoot it. So it was a tough game. And then everybody talks about the kid that was in foul trouble. He is maybe their best player. The problem is the kid that came in got 16 in the first half. So, but you had to be there. Doug Wojcik, it was his scout, and we were sitting on the bench as the game started, and we thought we had a really good plan on what we wanted to do. And the first play of the game, I'll just say one of our guys, getting older, I used to call him out. Now I got to be a little softer. But one of our guys was supposed to go over, and he went under, and they slipped and get a dunk. The second play, we're supposed to go over because the scouting report said number 3, high slot, left slot, jump shooter. Right where he's supposed to shoot it, he shot it. And I said, Doug, you did a hell of a job on the report, but nobody listened to you, And I think what happens in those games, and that's the reason they're so important to play, is, players get nervous too. And some of the guys that were, we got a lot of guys that have some experience, but nobody has the experience of playing in games like that. So that was a meaningful game in, mid to late January. And that's when you want to have meaningful games.
And the one thing is interesting, we've had 4 straight games now where your 10-man rotation, everybody scored. It's amazing. We score over 80 points a ball game. We only have 1 double-digit score on average.
It is strange. I mean, it really is. And I don't have all the answers to it. I wish we'd get a couple guys that would score a little bit more. And so we have a real go-to guy. And Jaden probably has been our most consistent guy the last 6-7 games. And he struggled a little bit, but Trey popped up and played awfully well. And Cohen is getting better and better. And, he's starting to make shots, but he's putting the ball on the floor, getting to the hole. And, still that series where Jeremy got the 3-point play and Cohen got the dunk, that kind of lifted the crowd. Not that it needed to be lifted. It was awesome. And, it was funny because, of course, we had a Cy Young winner in the building, if you didn't see him in the Skoo Bowl. And, he got caught up in the whole thing, too. He's in the locker room after. He says, hey, I'm going to be in New York Saturday. Can I come to the game? I said, what are you doing in New York? He said, I get my Cy Young award. I said, I'd go to that instead, I said. But that is at night. So who knows? He might come. But it was just fun. And it was really kind of cute. He walks in my office 2 hours before the game. He's got his jacket on. He takes off his jacket, and he's got a Mateen Cleaves jersey on. He goes, Coach, my dad loves him. He goes, we're from Phoenix, but this and that. I had to do research on him. I got his jersey. I said, well, I think he's coming to the game today. So he was more excited to get Mateen's autograph on his jersey. I just wanted a baseball sign. That's all. So it was a unique moment, but one that happens when you have some success. And the only negative of the whole weekend, let's face it, our gymnastics team played in Breslin for the first time and beat Michigan in front of 6,000 or 7,000 people. Our tennis team, as crazy as it sounds, first time they beat I think a top 10 team ever, and beat Kentucky, and so that was a good start. And then after my meeting Saturday night, we always have free throw shooting, and we have a film session, and then I stopped by the hockey game, and we scored 2 goals when I was there, so we were up 2-0, and they went on to win 4-1, and then we kind of topped it off. So if you're a Spartan fan, that was a hell of a weekend.
It was a great weekend. It was really, really, really good. Well, we'll be back with more of the Auto Owners Insurance Coach Tom Izzo Show after this break on the Spartan Media Network.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Dad. Did you get a new haircut or something? A new shirt? You're looking good.
What happened?
A little fender bender?
How little?
A few days in the shop little? But thanks to Mom and our agent, we've already submitted a claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense.
I'm fine, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Skill is a game changer. And when the doctors you know and trust team up with one of the nation's top health systems, the possibilities are endless. Sparrow is now University of Michigan Health Sparrow. So together, we can bring more specialized expertise, more of the latest treatments, and more of the best possible care closer to you. Discover what's possible at uofmhealthsparrow.org.
When you're a foster parent, you play a lot of roles.
Provider, giving a foster child a safe home, healthy meals, and hope.
You're always there.
You're a cheerleader.
Your family. You would do anything for a child in your care.
Every day is different. Every need is different. But one of the most impactful roles you can play in life is being a foster parent. See why at michigan.gov/hope for a home. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey, Spartan fans, the 2024 basketball season is tipping off, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the courtside celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in the state, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Spartans. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Welcome back. We're live in Lansing for the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We're hanging out at 1 North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. If you want to join our audience for any of our MSU coaches shows, make your reservation by emailing coachesshow@onenorthdining.com. Well, as Coach said, it's a national championship game tonight between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Before I talk a little more basketball with you, kicks off in a little bit. Who's going to win that thing?
Well, as I've been reminded quickly here, and I forgot, and I did get a text from Robin late. We swept them, and she played late, after our game in Illinois, and they won. And our wrestling team, but you talk about a tough job. With the facilities we got, he's done an unbelievable job here over the years. Lost some kids to NIL stuff, but they won theirs, so I guess it was a clean sweep for us over the weekend, and those teams deserve a lot of credit. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough game tonight. I'm pulling for Ohio State. I like Notre Dame. Love both coaches. I think they're both class guys. It's been fun to watch them interview. As I said, I've said this many a times. I told my son to DVR from 6:30 to 7:30. It's the hour and a half before the games that you really get the most out of the games. The things that go on in there, the way they talk about the human interest stories are really good, and you kind of learn a lot as a coach. I hate to say it, but part of my speech to my team before we played the other day, I always try to learn from other sports, and watching the Lions, and that was the only negative of the weekend because they had such a great year and taking so much abuse, and Dan did an unbelievable job, but they had 5 turnovers in the game. And I used to ask my buddy Mariucci who's going to win the Super Bowl when he was coaching and when he was working for the NFL Network, which he is now, and his answers were almost always the same: whoever has the most healthy bodies and whoever turns the ball over the least. And boy, if that didn't come through this year. So for once in his life, Mariucci was smart enough to get it right.
Well, Tom, you have a question.
Hi, Coach. Steve from Lansing.
Steve.
We just got done talking about the fact that you do have 10 players that you play, and basically they all contribute something each and every game. With all your experience, you must be having a blast being able to pick and choose how you match your players, who goes on, who comes off. That this got to be a great experiment time for you. Number one, who makes most of those choices of who goes in and who's come out? And what kind of characteristics or things are you thinking about when you're matching people and other teams?
Well, God bless you, Steve, but you're dead wrong on that. It's probably the hardest part of my job. Doug Wojcik and I meet every game, and we talk about matchups, and we talk about what's going on, and how do we rotate people, and how do we do it so they don't lose their rhythm. And it's hard. 8 is good, 9 is a lot, 10 is a real lot, and yet there are more teams playing with 9 and 10. You'd be surprised. Illinois had 9 deep, that they played a lot. And, like I said, in the last week, I told my team this the other night, or I told them this Saturday as we practiced. I think it was Ohio State was playing somebody, and 2 of the best players were out with injuries. UCLA's got 2 big kids out with injuries. All 4 games had significant people out with injuries. Knock on wood, we haven't done that yet, and so that'll change things too as it comes. But it's it may look smooth, but then you gotta please so many people nowadays, that it's a little bit more difficult than you would think. It's good, but it's not easy.
It's fun to watch.
Thanks.
Got one more.
Hey, Coach, Sean from Lansing.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good to hear, man.
Thanks.
So when the game was on the line, up 3, you chose the foul. Now, I know the analytics usually do say to do that, but historically, it's not something you usually do. What's your philosophy behind that, and what made you do it that game?
Well, it sure as hell ain't analytics, I tell you that, because I believe in the eye test. I believe, you can use analytics as part of it, but, analytics, like when they say that in football, do I kick a field goal? Do I go for 2? They don't know who's injured, they act like these analytics people know everything that goes on in the game. You don't get to do that. So I am not a big fan of it, and I don't normally foul. I looked at the game and I tried to, I talked about it. We had some timeouts, and they had 5 guys that could shoot the ball. And I just said, we did get caught at North Carolina. Now, we were trying to foul in that game, but the guy hit a 3 at the buzzer. But if a team wasn't a good 3-point shooting team, I might do something different. So don't bet your neighbor. I'm unpredictable. And then some of that's good and some of that's bad, but that's the honest truth. And this game, because I normally don't, probably most of the texts and calls I got were about that. Wow, you foul. God, you're not in the Stone Age. Next time when you foul, you got to rely on a lot of things. A 20-year-old's got to do it right. A 50-year-old official or so got to call it right. Okay. And there's a lot of things that happen. I know the odds of some things. And speaking of that, they did a pretty good job, and we did a poor job of cutting out. And that's this year, that was the 3rd offensive rebound we gave up. Now, he shot the ball from behind the basket, but just think about it. They almost completed it. Mm-hmm. And then you'd be sitting here saying, hey, you idiot, why did you foul? And you would. I got faith in you, Sean. I got faith in you. So, whatever works, that was a hell of a decision. Absolutely. And when it doesn't work, bad decision, but it is, for me, it's not etched in stone. I look at the situations. We talk about it before the game. And I'm not sure that's the right way or wrong way to do it, but it's my way to do it.
Right on. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Okay, while Tom is making all these decisions, thanks, Sean. So Matt Sting and I are looking at each other, and I say to Matt, he could foul here. And Matt looks at me like, are you kidding? Yeah, you're right. We don't do that. And we fouled.
Can you believe it? That's my own guys. That's my own people. But, I understand it. But I'm just telling you, I've seen, when you've been in it like I have, you see so many different scenarios. And it was right. But some of it's the time on the clock. Some of it, there's just so many factors. And what seems easy, just as you're going to do it, and then a kid puts the ball down and he goes to foul. And this happens many a times. They don't call the foul. Then they call the second one. Maybe he's in the shooting range from half court, and that guy goes and gets 3. So it's not as easy as you think, but it's probably, I know one thing. Raise your hand if you thought it was a hell of a positive decision. See? We made the right decision.
Okay. This week's Alumni Hall Spartan basketball trivia ticket giveaway. The winner gets tickets to an MSU home game, a couple of them. And you can pick up your tickets at the Alumni Hall retail location at Eastwood Town Center in Lansing. So here's our question this week. The last time we went to Madison Square Garden and won was March 2nd, 2018. We beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament. The question is, who was the leading scorer for the Spartans in that 63-60 win in New York? We beat Wisconsin Big Ten tournament, March of 18. We won it by 3 over the Badgers. Who led us in scoring that day? And this is for the audience. And if anybody has the answer, step right up and you can get yourself a couple tickets to one of our games. So we'll have more of our conversation with Coach Izzo and your trivia answers right after this as you're listening to the Auto Owners Insurance Tom Izzo Show.
When you're first told your child has autism, you're scared to death. You worry, are people going to look at him or her differently? The Autism Alliance of Michigan is a rock for families. AAOM has experts working hard every day to provide help, hope, and answers to families. Call us today at 877-463-AAOM or visit autismallianceofmichigan.org, sponsored by the Autism Alliance of Michigan and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Hey Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need 3 things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Of course, if you want to cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go green.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is clean and safe for the players every game at the Breslin Center. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and 4-store locator. That's Libman.com. Libman, official hardwood floor care provider of the Michigan State Spartans.
We're back on the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And don't forget, Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners make sense for you. Well, for the audience, we have a question.
No, we have an answer.
I think we might. It's the Alumni Hall trivia question. The question is, when we beat Wisconsin at Madison Square Garden in 18 in the Big Ten tournament, who led us in scoring? So we have... No, first off, tell us who you are.
So I'm Sawyer.
And where are you from, Sawyer?
Lansing, Michigan.
Okay, now, the answer is?
Cassius Winston.
You want to try again? We'll give you one more try.
Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges is in! Hey! There you go.
Now listen, even though those ladies helped you out, don't think you're in school and you're cheating on the test, okay? But I do like your your Jaron Jackson jersey. I just talked to his mother yesterday, and she watched the game and called to tell me how excited she was. You look good.
Tyson Walker. It's Tyson Walker.
Tyson Walker too, right? Tyson Walker, is that who? He's doing well too in the G League, so that's good. You're 2 for 2. But yeah, that was. I remember, Miles. That was a good game. So congratulations.
20 points, 9 boards in that game. That was something. That was really something. Well, since we're mentioning the Garden, we're going to go there Saturday to play Rutgers. They've moved their home game there. It's really a big event, and it is a mecca of basketball. Can you remember the first time you went there for a game?
Yeah, it was early in my career. I think we played in the not the first year or two, but we played in the Tournament of Champions, and we played there a couple times. Once against Duke when Mike Krzyzewski broke the record. It was unbelievable. It was like a 5-point game, and I felt like the sacrificial lamb. But yeah, I've been there a few times. I don't know when my first was. Do you?
No. It's funny.
Ask my man. He's got all the answers.
Every time I think about that place, I think of the hard rims and shots that should go don't always go. But it was the one thing about the Krzyzewski thing that the coach talked about. We're all set up for the game, and I left something in our team bus. So Dave Pruder, our equipment guy, said, Dave, I got to get this thing. We hustle. Number one, you go down to get to the arena. You don't go up. And it's kind of a garbage elevator. So we get in this big elevator. We go down. We get to the bus. We get the thing. We run back right before the elevator closes. And I'm standing there with the Duke team and Coach Krzyzewski. And everybody's looking at us like, who are you and why are you here? And we're thinking the same thing.
If you were a true Spartan, you would have pushed that button and locked that damn elevator. So you didn't do your job at all. But you would be amazed because it is the Mecca. It is. Every NBA guy says playing at the Garden is it. But if you went there, it's actually the opposite of what you said. The arena is on like the 5th floor.
Yeah, underneath is
there's a lot underneath. But you do, when you go up as a team, you go up on, when he says garbage elevator, I mean, you should see the stuff around. You'd be blown away. And if you go there and you play the day after the circus, it's tough, man. And I've done that 2 or 3 times, and that's tough. So it's an interesting place, how cool it is. But it brings challenges, like if you stay at a hotel that's maybe 8 blocks away and you say, well, what time we have to leave for the game? Well, it could take 15 minutes or it could take an hour. And you got to plan for that. So it's a little more taxing than you think. The good news for us is, playing in Rutgers is a very tough place to play. And it'll be tough in New York because they'll have a lot of fans there, but we will have our share, and I got a feeling it'll be a good share this year.
Tom talks about getting there. One time he loaded up on the bus for the shoot around, and somebody hit the bus. And we didn't move because the bus driver's not moving without a police report. And the clock's ticking, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been some times. But, for us right now, we gave him today off. We got, morning video session, and then we practice on ourselves tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we'll prepare for Rutgers. But we got some work to do on ourselves. There were some things that we didn't cover right, and some things we didn't, we weren't crazy about offensively. So having this little break where you get 5 days, 6 days, you can take 1 day off, which I think they all needed, and then you can have 1 day where you just work on yourselves. The hard part, once the season starts, you're always working on your opponents, and sometimes you're not getting better yourself. John Wooden, when I first got into coaching, you read his books and the Pyramid of Success and all the things, and he always talked about he never, ever scouted a team. Never, ever scouted the opponent. Now, first of all, they played like once or twice every 8-9 days, so they had time. Second of all, his third string center was an NBA draft pick, so he had better players than the other people. So if I was playing Northern Michigan every night, I probably wouldn't scout as much either. But that's the way it was back then. Now it's almost just the opposite. Most coaches, if you have a 2 or 3 day prep, if we have a 2-day prep, like if we played on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, we'd have a 7:30 walkthrough of the next team we play on Saturday. And then that day we'd have practice at night. And then Friday we'd practice, then fly out there and have a walkthrough in the hotel. So it gets crammed in, but you're almost always working on your opponent, never working on yourself enough, which isn't good either.
And when Tom asked me, maybe if I remember one thing about the Garden, we did play there after 9/11. And I don't want to be somber about this, but Michigan State raised money to help the firefighters. And we arrived there to play a game at the Garden. And they greeted us, and they took the whole team to Ground Zero. And this was before he got massaged. And that's a memory I will never forget. And I can't even describe how I felt, the sadness. And of all the great things I've got to do with Coach over the years, being able to experience that was one of them. And the first thing I did when I got back to the room, it was Thanksgiving. I got on the phone to call my family.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
That was tough. And then I think the next week we honored those firemen that took care of us at a football game here. It was the last football game of the year. But so there's been a lot of things. I mean, sports, like I was talking to our president after the game, and sports, there's a lot of things that can happen that are good, and there's some things that'll happen that are bad. But it sure is fun when the collection of teams are doing well too. We as coaches pull for everybody, and I say this all the time. I mean, I pull for people that have gone through a lot. That's one reason I'm pulling for Ohio State. I think of what he's gone through, and it makes you realize that nobody really understands what it's like. I mean, to think that a coach loses a game and has to get a police protection on his wife and kids, it's kind of crazy sometimes. But then again, if you were in our locker room after that game, and like I said, here's a guy that's the Cy Young winner and is going to be making a lot more money than everybody else. And he was like a kid in a candy store in there, the excitement, the fun he had. And, he was thanking us, and it was really kind of cool. So a lot of good things can happen. But I will say this in the next segment, because I'm sure we have to break here. I'll talk about why I'm still concerned about what we got coming up.
Okay. And our show today comes to you live from One North Kitchen and Bar, located at Abbott and Saginaw in East Lansing. One North Kitchen and Bar, making great times better. And a presenting sponsor of Michigan State basketball is Rocket Mortgage, official mortgage provider of Michigan State Athletics. We'll be back with more of the Tom Izzo Show, brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. But first, a break right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket? No, but we do make them work. Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No. First base!
Go, go, go!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Hey, got one more, Labatt?
Yeah, here you go.
Yo, got one more?
Sure. Who are you?
Hey, have any more?
I'll take one.
Got another Labatt?
Got one more? How did you all get in my house?
Dude, door was open. Heard you had some Labatt.
Yeah, in the fridge.
Crack some Labatt, make some friends, and see where it takes you. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company Limited.
Our lives are a collection of experiences, from fender benders and soggy basements to great joy and growing families. Sometimes life is unplanned. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Welcome back to the Auto Owners Insurance Coach Tom Izzo Show. By the way, Big B Coffee is a proud supporter of Michigan State basketball. Visit your Mid-Michigan Big B Coffee location today. And Michigan State wants to thank our upcoming game day sponsor, Delta Dental. They'll be the game sponsor when the Gophers roll into the Breslin Center. Well, before we talk about what Tom wanted to talk about in terms of things to work on, we have a question.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing,
Gary
Gary?
from East Lansing. Frankie Fiddler. He's been doing some great stuff lately, and I seem to remember that he was brought on as a transfer largely because he was a dead-eye shooter. And early in the season, his shots were not falling. And I wondered, does that incentivize him and maybe some other kids as well to work on other parts of the game, the driving to the basket, the defense, the rebound, because he's been doing so much of that well lately?
Well, Frankie could do that before too, but you are right. That's why we recruited him, and he played a little more four in the small school he was at in Creighton, and he really shot it pretty well this summer, and then he just went into a stretch where he didn't. But what he could always do is get fouled, and he shoots 90% from the line, and he's really helped us in that area. Once he came out of the lineup a little bit, as crazy as it sounds, I think it helped him more than hurt him. Took a little pressure off him, and then he has started playing better and better lately. You know, number one, we're playing him a little more at the four at times, and I think that gives him a little better matchup. And number two, he's just getting some confidence, which happens. I mean, it's just the way it is. You know, these kids are under a lot of pressure too, and they struggle at times, and some handle it and some don't handle it as well. And he's probably in the best spot he's been in since he's been here. And I think all the players are happy for him, and I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for us. So it's been a good thing.
And Frankie, back-to-back double-digit games. And when Tom talks about his 91% free throw shooting, he's actually made more free throws in our team than anybody else when he gets there. He's pretty good.
Yeah. He's a very good free throw shooter, and he does get fouled.
So what do we got to work on?
Well, you know, we got a lot of stuff, you know. But, you know, I told you that it's a little front-loaded, back-loaded. 9 of our last 13 games are against 9 teams that have been in the top 25, and I think 6 of them are still in the top 25. And so, you know, there are a lot of good teams that we're going to yet to play, and that's why I try to keep some semblance of order. You know, when people think we've already arrived, I mean, we've done a good job, and but as you can see, the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know, they're having an unbelievable year, and all of a sudden lose 5 in a row. You know. And, you know, the Lions are having a great year, struggling a game, and then lose the next one. It's the way it works in sports. So I'm just trying my hardest to keep their spirits up and yet make sure they understand, don't listen to the outside people. I have this saying, it's distractions and dirtbags. And the distractions are a million things. The dirtbags, it's not always fair. Some are agents and deserve that name, but some are just regular people, you know, that kind of get in your head because they don't understand how it works. So I'm just very optimistic, but it's cautiously optimistic. And I think we got a lot of work to do. We are winning a game like that helps you, but we've got, we were shooting really good from the line. First half, we didn't shoot very good from the line. That hurt us. They didn't shoot well from the line. That cost them. It's all these little things. Everybody thinks it's the big things. The little things are what usually makes a difference in life. And so that's where we're at. So it's all good, but it's there's a lot, 13 games. There was a time when there were only 16 games in the league. It seems like we played 100 games already. Basketball's a long season, and there are some big games coming up.
Is it wrong to say we finally cracked the top 10?
I don't know, and I don't care. It's so different. Seriously, I mean, there was a time here when that's all I worried about because we were building the program. And, when you've been a 1 seed and lost in the opening weekend, and you've been a 7 seed and made it to a Final Four, you kind of get real with everything and say, what matters is, are you getting better every day? Are you trying to peak at the right time? So I think it's always good for your program. It's great for your fan base. It's good for ticket sales. It's good for interest. But the people that are telling you whether you're 1, 3, 7, 12, 15, 26, most of them are clueless. So it really doesn't matter. But I guess if I look at it, it's a compliment to your team that when you're in the top 25 or in the top 10. But, as I talked to the coach at Gonzaga, they won a couple big games, and all of a sudden they've lost 3 in a row, and some of them to teams that aren't that good. And he's pulling his hair out of his head. He's never been 13-6 because they play in a conference that they usually win 17 of the 18 games on a regular basis. And now he's got a couple losses already, and he's got some other losses, and it's like foreign territory. I said, what are you calling me? Because I know what it's like to be there or what, But so those are the reasons. So when you hear a press conference, sometimes it's the truth, and sometimes I got to battle the poison pens and make sure that they don't write things that you'll believe when they're not true, or worse yet, the players will. Everything's good. I mean, the team has been really good. I got great guys. Everybody's handled things pretty well, but adversity, as we learned, and that's why I really, I told you I called Ryan Day. I got to know him a little bit. I just like learning from people who have been through really tough things and see how they handle it, see how their team handles it, ask questions. Great part about my job is you're constantly learning. And trust me, tonight I'll be watching all the interviews before the game. I'll be watching the game is the game, but all the interviews after the game. And as I said, I took the Lions game and I used that as part of my pregame speech because, I had to figure out how we could get our point across that turnovers matter. Ironically, they had the most they've had all year. And ironically, we had the least we've had all year. So maybe that part they listened.
They did. We'll return with more of the Tom Izzo Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance. After this, you're on the Spartan Media Network.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Dad. Did you get a new haircut or something? A new shirt? You're looking good.
What happened?
A little fender bender?
How little?
A few days in the shop little, but thanks to Mom and our agent, we've already submitted a claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense.
I'm fine, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Is joint pain slowing you down? Imagine waking up and moving through your day pain-free. The orthopedic and sports medicine specialists at McLaren are experts in the latest surgical and non-surgical advances to relieve joint pain and restore movement so you can rediscover the activities you love. We'll help you get back to what moves you. McLaren, the official orthopedic and sports medicine partner of Michigan State Athletics.
Hey Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
From our farm fields to the football field, Michigan soybeans touch every life, every day. From the food we eat to the products we use and the cars we drive, soybeans are making an impact. The Michigan Soybean Committee is dedicated to helping our farmers grow the soybeans needed for a more sustainable future while working at the forefront of innovation to develop new uses. To learn more about the Michigan Soybean Committee's initiatives, please visit us at michigansoybean.org.
We are back live for the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for your entire community. You help support food rescue programs and the Simply Give program. Learn more at Meijer.com. Well, we always go through these numbers every week. They're good numbers. The Abu Law Firm and the Beyond the Arc campaign. Every time we make a three or Robin's teams make a three, $25 get donated to the Greater Lansing Food Bank. So our totals through the weekend, the guys have made 99, the women 124. That's 223 times $25, $5,575. It's a good number. It's a really good number. And by the way, speaking of good things, raise hope and foster dreams by starting your journey to becoming a foster parent today. Visit michigan.gov/hope for a home to learn more on how you can support children of all ages in your community. We're going to take a break right here. You're listening to the Auto Owners Insurance Coach Tom Izzo Show.
So I graduated last year and got a job, but it got boring.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket? No, but we do make them work. Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
To the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No. First base!
Go, go, go!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
When you're a foster parent, you play a lot of roles.
Provider, giving a foster child a safe home, healthy meals, and hope.
You're always there.
You're a cheerleader. Your family. You would do anything for a child in your care.
Every day is different. Every need is different. But one of the most impactful roles you can play in life is being a foster parent. See why at michigan.gov/hope for a home. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
At first, credit card debt can seem harmless, like a cute little baby goat. But let it get out of control, and your debt goes wild, and that is anything but cute. Tame your debt with Rocket Mortgage. Tap into your home's equity and get funds in a matter of days. Just visit tameyourdebt.com. Call 1-800-407-3944 for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
We're live from Lansing for the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. By the way, Spartan fans, gear up with an MSU FCU Visa credit card featuring the Spartan helmet. It's a perfect way to show your Spartan pride while earning cash back on every purchase. Apply now at msufcu.org and make every purchase a proud Spartan moment. Well, I got a question for you, Tom. I don't know if you guys have watched Cohen Carr of late. Here's a guy that couldn't make a basket, couldn't make a free throw, And he's last 31 free throws, he's made 90% of them. He's made 28 of 31. Made a critical three-point shot in our game at Illinois. The question is, how did you fix his shot?
I didn't fix his shot. I mean, we spent some time together on his free throw because just the way he shot it. But, you know, when a player changes, that drastically, it's like Cooper, they put time in, it's like everything. It's like studying for a test. I mean, and the more you study, the more comfortable and confident you are in taking the test. The test for my guys, the president came to our practice on Saturday, and he was there with a couple of his buddies that he grew up with, and both of them were professors at different institutions. And so I went over and gave him the practice plan. I said, "You're in my classroom now. You learn this, see how easy it is." And they looked at it, and of course it was French. I said, "That's how my kids feel in your classes," But it's Cohen has put a lot of time in. If you knew Cohen at all, I told you before, great kid, but his mother is a saint. I mean, she drives him. I mean, I don't have to worry about anything. she rules with an iron fist. She's great, just great.
Well,
we got a question.
Got a question.
Well, it's not really a question. I'm Mary Lou. I know Coach doesn't like social media, but I'm crazy MSU lady from Texas. And I've met a lot of people through that. But anyway, it's more so, I know a lot of people here have to watch the games from home, but I just want to let you know, please let the players know. And I'm sure they know, but I'm with the Austin Spartans, but there's kids people, alumni all over the country that are at game watches. I am standing up on tables singing the fight song at my age. Yes. So just
God
let them know
you.
that we are really out there screaming and yelling for them.
You know what? That is very nice of you and very appreciative. And I must talk to my team. I mean, every week somewhere I talk about, you're playing for the 600,000 living alums. See, we're in this transit now time of college sports, where you don't like what's going on and leave. And you're right. There's things I'm against, and I'm damn proud I'm against them because of what you just said. Just think if, as a student, if you attended 4 different schools, which one would you pull for? You ever think of it that way? And so I'm proud of the people that are alums or fans or supporters that, we are playing for them. And, it's the people that built the place. I always tell them we're just renting a spot. And the way you put a brick in the mortar is if you do what you're supposed to do and have the success and appreciate the people that were here before you and help lead the people that are going to be here after you. And that's kind of what my job's all about. And so I appreciate that. I try to get to events all over the country. I really do. And when we go places to play, it's amazing. I mean, Michigan State's got, some of the largest living alums of most colleges. And when you go to Denver and play, you go to, we'll be out in LA. I bet you we'll have a ton of Spartans out there. And we go to Texas, and we've been down there in Austin and in San Antonio. We go to Florida, and this week we'll go to New York. And when we're in Chicago or Indy, we're well represented. And I want to make sure we're doing our part to represent them properly.
There you go. Thanks for the question. Thanks for coming up from Texas. We'll be back with more of the Auto Owners Insurance Time Izzo Show after this on the Spartan Media Network.
So, got one for you, boss.
Oh, yeah?
What's black, white, and dented all over?
I give up.
The company truck. I know, but thanks to our agent, we've already submitted an insurance claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Lucky for you, that's simple human sense.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Skill is a game changer.
And when the doctors you know and trust team up with one of the nation's top health systems, the possibilities are endless. Sparrow is now University of Michigan Health Sparrow. So together, we can bring more specialized expertise, more of the latest treatments, and more of the best possible care closer to you. Discover what's possible at uofmhealthsparrow.org.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need 3 things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Of course, if you want to cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go green.
Sleigh bells ring.
And welcome back to the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Did I miss Christmas or? Anyway, frankly, you want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief program every weekday on Spartan Media Network stations across our great state, presented by Frank and Muth Insurance. Start a frank conversation about your insurance with one of our local independent agents by visiting fmins.com. Well, we're off to New York. That's our next broadcast. We're going to take on Rutgers at the Garden. Coverage begins at 12:30. Hope you can join us for that. Next show Wednesday, January 29th, here for the Tom Izzo Show. Final thoughts?
Well, Rutgers has maybe the 2 best players in the league. Both of them are considered lottery picks. So they've got 2 really, really good players. And we'll have our work cut out, but we're looking forward to it. And just keep the support and realize that, a lot of people predict 5 wins will win or 5 losses will win the Big Ten. So we got some work to do yet. All right. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.
You've been listening to the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by McLaren, official orthopedics and sports medicine partner of Michigan State Athletics. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. Labatt, crack some Labatt and see where it takes you. Meyer, the official grocer of Michigan State Athletics. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill. And by Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. The Tom Izzo Show is a presentation of Playfly Sports in partnership with Michigan State Athletics. All rights reserved, and is produced by the Spartan Media Network.